world was drowning in chaos. Across nations, the clash of swords and the roar of spells thundered through the skies. Magic swirled like storms of fire and lightning, tearing apart the land until even the ancient forests wept with smoke and blood. The battlefield stretched endlessly, a forest-turned graveyard where warriors fell and empires trembled. Far from the heart of the carnage, hidden beneath the shadow of the celestial mountains, a small hut stood in fragile defiance. It was a place untouched by armies, yet burdened with destiny. Inside, the cries of battle faded beneath another cry, the cry of new life. Leona, her strength fading but her spirit unbroken, held her newborn son close to her chest. Her husband, Creed, knelt at her side, his calloused hands trembling, not from battle, but from the weight of what had just come into the world. The child's eyes opened, wide and unclouded, reflecting the flicker of the torchlight as if they held within them both dawn and dusk. He was born not into peace, but into fire and ruin. And yet, in his fragile breath, there was a quiet promise, a defiance that rivaled even the storms that raged outside. They named him Zero, a name simple, yet heavy with meaning, a beginning, an origin, a void from which all stories would rise. Beyond the walls of that humble hut, war raged on. Nations tore at each other, the celestial kingdom looming over the carnage like an unshaken titan. But within, as Leona and Creed watched their sons, one a child of 7 years, the other just born, a flicker of hope kindled. For in that moment, amid the screams of war and the collapse of kingdoms, a legend quietly began. For one brief moment, the world was silent. But then, a ripple of power cut through the air, sharp and suffocating. Creed's instincts, honed by decades on the battlefield, screamed a warning. His gaze snapped toward the mountainside, where the flicker of unnatural fire painted the shadows. Upon the cliff above, a figure appeared. Shrouded in a long black cloak, the man stood unmoving, his presence heavy, unnatural, as if the world itself bent beneath his aura. Then, without warning, pitch-black flames erupted, roaring across the sky and descending upon the hut like the wrath of an ancient curse. "Leona! Nero!" Creed's voice was steady, but his eyes burned with urgency. In a flash, his body moved, faster than the human eye could follow. With impossible speed, he swept up his family, lifting Leona, the newborn Zero, and Nero into his arms. Follow for next.